Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit since I've actually made a video. I've had a few things going on and I wanted to apologize to you. A few of you eagle eyes may remember I was making a video and Grace came running through the barn and hit my phone. And when she did, she broke the mount that holds my phone and she broke the microphone. And I mentioned it in the video, but I mentioned it very briefly. It's just taken me a little bit to get another mic set up and another stand and another mount and all that type of stuff. Finally got all that taken care of, so I think we're back on track. So hopefully we'll be back into making videos. A month or so ago, I did a video on the Suffolk Punch Gathering up in North Carolina. Well, they had a raffle up there for a Suffolk Punch filly or colt. I think they had 7 that you could choose from. And then they were doing a raffle on a forecart. And look what happened. I won the forecart. I couldn't believe it. I had already made it back to Georgia. They had their business meeting on Saturday night, and they called me Saturday night about 10 o'clock and told me that I had won the raffle and to swing back by and pick up the forecart the next morning. Well, I had already made it back to Georgia. Didn't pick this up until yesterday. Yesterday was Veterans Day, and happy Veterans Day to all my brothers and sisters out there. Me being retired military, I appreciate everybody's service, everybody that came before me and everybody that gave all. We had made plans. The guy that was holding this for me up there in North Carolina is a forester, and he was going to have 3 teams of Suffolks up there, and we had planned on Veterans Day to go up there and do some logging on his property. Well, a week before we were planning to go, he lives on top of a mountain up there in North Carolina, and somebody started a fire. The fire got away from him, and it burned over 500 acres of land. Damaged 2 homes. Forestry Service was up there with a bunch of brush trucks. Bureau of Land Management just happened to be in the region. They were from Utah. They were in the region doing some training and some prescribed burns, and they got the call, and so they ended up going to a real fire instead of a training fire. They had helicopters with Bambi buckets underneath them. He showed me videos and photos of it, and it was a pretty scary time. They were doing back burning and burning fire with fire kind of deal and making extra fire breaks and doing everything they could to save the properties. The helicopters were focusing on keeping the houses wet so that they didn't burn, but pretty scary times. But I ended up going up there yesterday and picking this up, and with the fires and the conditions and everything, and then we ended up having rain on top of that, and so we were just not able to get into the woods and do what we wanted to do. So it didn't work out, but we did get his horses out. He has a brand new horse, not a brand new horse, but a 3-year-old that's brand new to driving, and we hooked her up with his gelding. They end up their full brother and sister. And this was the second time that they had ever driven together, and the first time she had ever driven on a forecart. So I was able to video some of that. They did really good. And then he had the Amish come down from Ohio. He goes up to Ohio like I do, and he's actually a dealer. This is an Easy Trail forecart. This is not a Pioneer forecart, and he's actually a dealer for Easy Trail. And so he goes up to Ohio quite a bit and spends a lot of time up there and has befriended the Amish, and he actually got the Amish to come down to North Carolina and build him a barn. And they built a post and beam, mortise and tenon and pegs, and just an absolutely stunning barn. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the brother and sister named Copper and Bonnie, show you a little bit of them driving, and then I'm going to show you his barn. And now that we've got, a camera that works and a microphone that works and all of that, we'll be able to make videos. I've also had a few medical conditions that have kept me from doing some stuff. If you notice in previous videos, you can hear me as I'm walking, I'm I'm short of breath when I'm walking, and I don't hear it and I don't feel it when I'm walking and I'm talking, but when I go back and play my videos back, I can see it and I can hear it. And me being retired military and having spent multiple deployments of the desert, I was exposed to the oil wells in 1991 and the burn pits that go on, and plus the environmental conditions, all the sand and dirt and dust and everything. And so I went and had a burn pit registry exam, and when I did, they diagnosed me with some nasal issues, but they also said that I have all of the symptoms, and the suggestion is that I have interstitial lung disease, which is hardening of the lung tissue, which is causing me to have shortness of the breath, lightheadedness, and that type of stuff. So they're going to order me to go to the pulmonologist and have some exams and that type of stuff. But I'm not going to worry about any of that until I need to worry about it. I've got several medical issues and I don't worry about any of them anyway. So nothing to worry about, but those are the reasons I've been out of pocket, and I apologize. If you notice, wherever I go, my camera's following me. There's not anybody behind the camera. Nobody's here with me. That is my new tripod. I've got a new gimbal, and that gimbal, it follows me wherever I go. As you know, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I'm out here by myself 99.9% of the time. It's pretty neat to be able to not have to reset the camera over and over and over when you're trying to make a video, because it'll just follow you and you can go to where you want to go. But I was super surprised to find out that I had won this forecart. It's a draft forecart. It's just the bare bones basic model. It doesn't have the extended platforms out here to the side like the Pioneer forecart does. That's a draft. It's got a single implement seat, no brakes, no fenders, but it is a draft cart. It's got the raised tongue. The difference between the Pioneer and the Easy Trail is this is 2 inches wide. The tongue is 2 inches wide, where the Pioneer is 2.5 inches wide. So the Pioneer tongue is a lot heavier than this, and I really like this a lot better. It's a lot easier to pick up and hook up. The Pioneer is super heavy. These guys have been around for a long time. I didn't realize they had been around it for as long as they had, but all of the Easy Trail and all of the Pioneer stuff is interchangeable. And I don't know if you guys know it, but Pioneer is no longer. They sold last year. They had been around for 45 years or so, 44 years, and they sold, and the company got split up into about 25 or 26 different little departments and went all over the place. So they still make their products and they sell them at Ackerman's, which is the retail store of Pioneer, but it's not sold under the Pioneer name anymore. So if you need parts for your forecart, your Pioneer forecart, and you're having difficulty finding the parts because you don't know who bought the different divisions of Pioneer, just look up Easy Trail and everything is interchangeable. The other thing that happened is they gave away the foal, they gave away the forecart, and then they put everybody's name back in a bucket and they drew out again for $250. And I won the $250 on top of the forecart. So I should have gone and bought a lottery ticket that day. But pretty interesting. So anyway, we've had some rain out here the last few days, and we really needed it. We hadn't seen any rain for the last month, so it was very dry. So very, very excited to get the rain. But I'm going to show you what happened yesterday up at Bob's up in North Carolina, driving Copper and Bonnie, and then I'm going to show you his barn. Thanks for watching.
Bonnie, back, off. got
As a general rule, these horses are not just going to blow up. I mean, something may bother them. You're not keeping shoes on the rear.
we've never put any on them because when she was just a young filly, we had that problem with her not enough toe, and so we just put them on the front to help her grow some toe out.
But you just did one.
Well,
This fall is the dry season.
twice a season. Well, Sweetie Pea, I'm proud of you. I think you did good for your first trip out. We're up to that next slide, and I'll come in behind you. I think it's Kristen's and my fault together. I asked for an alfalfa mix.
I don't know how much Timothy they know. But still,
Boy, I was happy to see diesel below $4 a gallon there at the Sam's Club.
yeah, but I ain't know what this war deal is. I'm already talking, it's gonna go up.
No, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, there's so many unknowns right now. It is crazy.
I heard, I saw a thing that said food costs, like, how much it was up in the last year. And they said that